rolling. All right, guys, so I'm very, very excited for the people on the call today that I have never met from wherever you are dialing in from. Welcome. My name is Elias Studo. I'm the Director of Sales and Coaching for Fast Real Estate, brokered by EXP. But these sessions are not about me. These sessions are about the people that are on this screen. So before we get rolling, in true fast form, I'm going to turn it over to one of our team members. And this team member is going to bring us out on the field. They're going to bring us into battle. This is our haka dance as a team. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Lauren. Lauren's ready. She's got her camera on. She is our internal recruiter for the company. So Lauren, hit us with it. Bring the team out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. So Lauren Abar, let's turn it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I know we're all feeling nice and warm, and it's a good Wednesday. So we're super excited for this. And Jen, we're super excited to hear what you have to share with us today.
Yes, yes. You know, you guys, here's what I want to do. Jen's going to encourage some of her team members to light up the chat, but I thought we can start this out for her. So if you guys have attended these sessions before, I want you guys to down below in the chat, what does this room represent? Like, what's one thing, one word, one idea? Like, go ahead and light up that chat. If there was something that described this room, the Keep It Moving coaching room, and these sessions, what would it be? I would love to hear your guys' responses. So go ahead and light up the chat down below. Family, collaboration, motivation, teamwork. Yeah, you guys keep them coming. This is super, super exciting. So Jen, thank you for being here. A little context for this. These sessions started less than 2 years ago, and it was about 5 people getting together 3 times a week. And now we have made it into what it is today, and inviting people like yourself to come into this environment because we believe in abundance over scarcity. We open these rooms to everybody. And what we don't do is we don't pitch anything. It's just, hey, let's give, let's share, and let's have a place where people could come together and have this collective wisdom. So a little bit about you. What I love about your background is that you've truly built this brand on helping others catapult their vision, their brand, their purpose, and their mission. And that's in direct alignment with what we do as a company. And so originally, I had not known you, but I had seen you, and then I watched some of the stuff from the Forward event, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just reach out. And she gave me some game because I reached out with the video. She's like, I can't see your video, so I don't know who the heck you are. So I wrote her something, and then she replied, and then we started some dialogue, and that's what led to this. So again, I'm really, really excited about today. You know, to hear from you, to hear from, you know, your training on the topic of brand building. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. You guys, thank you for loading up the chat. There's already 38 responses in the chat below. And Jen, this gives you a good idea of the audience that you have, the people that are in front of you. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Jen, and I'm very, very excited about today. So go ahead and take it away.
I love it. What an introduction. I'm so grateful for the internet because it brings amazing people like you into my life, Elias. Like if it weren't for IG, I wouldn't know you, and you're fabulous and my people. And this is a great group. I can already tell because of the engagement. And I mentioned to Elias that I am obsessed with engagement. It lights me up. It's why I love what I do. If we're going to connect on Zoom, I want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of this. And the way that I like to encourage you guys to pay attention and be present is I like to bribe you a little bit. And maybe I'll just call it incentivize you. So what we're going to do before I even dive into my training, which is going to be super, super value packed. So I want you guys to get out your notebooks and your phones and all the things and get ready to be present and take notes. But more importantly, I want to let you know that I'm going to do a little competition. So I have 2 of my team members here on the call, and I like to do an engagement competition, which basically means the person that is the most engaged in the chat with your video on, giving me the love in the chat, really being engaged and not just like spammy engaged, but I don't think we're going to have a problem with that, like powerfully engaged in the chat. By the end, my team's going to send me a message and they're going to tell me who was the most engaged person, and that person's going to win $100 today, PayPal by me immediately right away. You guys down? You into it? Who's going to win? Let's
wait,
practice.
Hold on a second. Did you say challenge to Team Fast? Yeah,
I did.
Well, give me a reaction down below if you guys are down for this challenge. Please give me a reaction, an emoji of any sort down below if you're ready for this challenge.
Let's go. I think we've got a competitive group here. It's fun competition. Hector's down, Samuel. Amazing. Okay, cool. So now that we know what's going on, you guys better light up that chat. We want to put the videos on. I'm so excited to meet you. I'm so grateful to be here. And I'm going to share my screen. I've got a full on deck for you guys. I've got a lot of goods, so you don't want to miss a second. Make sure you turn off your phones, you silence your notifications, and we are just present and together for the next, I don't know, going to be like 40 minutes or so. I'm going to take it away now. Do I have permission to share my screen, Elias?
You already do. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay, here we go. All right, I want you guys let me know in the chat. Let's practice if you can see my first slide, which is a little QR code in my face. Let me know in the chat if you can see that. So let's practice in the chat. Yes, amazing. Okay, so Elias already gave me a great introduction. That's me. I'm Jen. I don't want to go too deep into it. So if you want to know who I am, a little bit more about me, you can take a little photo of that QR code and you can follow me on all the socials. We can be friends. If you see something during this presentation that you just love, that lit you up, you can share it on IG stories. I'll share you with all my people, and that's how we can provide value to each other. A little bit of background that some of you may not know is I'm a former actress. I was in the Broadway national tour of, someone needs to mute.
Angel,
I was in the Broadway, yeah, that's
there
cool.
we go. I got her.
Okay, perfect. This is the Broadway national tour of The Wedding Singer. Anyone in the chat know the movie The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler? Anybody? Yeah, I played Linda the bitch. And then I was on a TV show on VH1 where I got to interview rock stars and heavy metal artists, some of the biggest in the entire world, for 5 years. And after that, I won't go too deep into it. If you want to get to know me more, you can stalk me online. And then I created my PR agency and my company called Super Connector Media with my very handsome fiance. That's Chris Winfield, my partner in business and in life. And we do PR differently. So we previously had a really high level agency where we represented some of the biggest personal brands, some of the biggest names that you might recognize, like Jim Quick, Kevin Harrington, the original shark from Shark Tank, Dean Graziosi, Dan Fleischman. We did PR for many of these really big authors, speakers, and experts, and some of the biggest companies in the world. And then just recently, actually a few months ago, our PR agency was acquired and we sold that portion of our company. And now we are just experts in hosting events and teaching entrepreneurs and business owners and thought leaders how to get their message out there and how to build their brand. And I can tell you more about that later. We were recently recognized as one of Inc. 5000's fastest growing private companies. I love celebrating that because that's a big credibility marker. Thanks, Elias. And I'm going to be teaching you all about how you can use these credibility markers, like your Inc. 5000 list and things like that, to build your personal brand and give you more credibility in the space so that you can close more sales at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So let's dive in to the content. Today, I'm going to be teaching you the Be Seen system, how to skyrocket your brand and go from the best kept secret to a household name. Let me know in the chat if you currently feel like you are the best kept secret. If you are you're like, I am so good at what I do, but nobody knows. And more people need to know. Let me know. Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. If not, you can say no. I'm cool with that too. You don't have to just yes me. All right. So, and if you don't, you're just going to get a lot more out of this too, because I'm going to go deep into some tactical stuff, even if you already are very well known, how to amplify that knownness or that visibility that you already have. So there are 3 letters to live by to build a profitable brand. If you saw me speak at the Forward event, you will know these. If you want to try to guess them before I go into them, I'll take some guesses in the chat. But there are 3 letters, and they're very simple. Those letters, no one guessed, are CIA. We're all going to go join the CIA right now. And what does that stand for? Credibility, influence, and authority. When you have these 3 things, people will buy from you and listen to you and follow what you do and say forever. If you build a personal brand and you don't have credibility, influence, and authority, you do not have a personal brand. This is the most important piece, and we're going to dive into each one. So let's talk about credibility, instant credibility. What does credibility even mean? Well, at the beginning of this presentation, I showed you a cool little sticker that said Inc. 5000 on it. Now, I can come up here and tell you that I'm awesome all day long, or say that I'm awesome on social media. Anybody can. They can say that they're great, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything unless a different source that's more trusted than me, more credible than me, says that I'm awesome too, like Inc. 5000, right? All of those little media logos, maybe if you're on Good Morning America, or you're in Forbes, or you're on the Today Show, or you're featured on Fox Business, all of those little credibility markers are basically a stamp of approval for your business, so that you're not the only one saying that you're great. Somebody else that other people actually trust is saying that you're great too, that you are good enough for them to feature as an expert. That's how you become the recognized recognized expert by getting credibility. And you need credibility to build not just a brand, but a powerful brand, a brand that actually converts and actually has an audience that wants to buy from you and listen to you forever. So let me give you an example of what your audience's experience is when they're searching for somebody to look for and when they're searching for somebody to work with when it comes to credibility. So let's give an example. This is a copywriter. So let's say I'm looking for a new copywriter for my website. I'm redoing my website and need a copywriter. So I go into my mastermind group or my community and I say, hey, who knows a really great copywriter? And 4 of my friends all say the same person. They all say 2 different people and they have the same name. It's very weird. They're both named Steph Georgi and they're both like great copywriters. Okay. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go research these 2 copywriters, right? I'm going to go online and I'm going to Google them. So I'm going on my Google journey and I see one website that looks just like this, right? Better copy, level up your mindset, build a deeper relationships, live a richer life. Cute. Okay. My friend said he was good. Maybe I'll give him a call. But then I go on to Stephen Georgi number 2, the other referral that I got, his website. And his website looks like this. Forbes, Business Insider, CNBC, Grow, BuzzFeed. He was featured in all of these different media sources. This is Stephen Georgi number 1 copywriter, and this is Stephen Georgi number 2. Without having a conversation with either of these people, who am I going to call? Please tell me, number 1 or number 2? Please tell me, number 1 or number 2? Am I going to call number 2? I don't even have to have a conversation. I'm immediately already X-naying out number 1 because they don't have credibility. Does that make sense? Type in yes in the chat if you're already following me. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool, amazing. Now, I'm going to show you how I took a simple piece of content and put credibility behind it, and it actually ended up making me 6 figures in 72 hours. Okay, this is a very cool story, and it's a gift that keeps on giving, so I want you to follow along. So this is an image of an Instagram live. Sorry, I think I said story, but it's an Instagram live that I did. So one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? Events are back. People keep DMing me and telling me they're introverted and they're not comfortable at events because they've been inside for 2 years. I'm going to do an Instagram live helping people with their networking skills. It's going to be great. It's going to go viral. Everyone's going to love it. I know it. No one cared. Okay. No one cared. Like I got some comments you can see, but it didn't go viral. It wasn't the greatest thing ever. It wasn't shared by zillions of people like I thought it was going to be. It was just okay because let's be real, on social media, you know, anyone can go live and it doesn't really have anything special or different about it. And it has 0 credibility behind it. But I believed in this topic. So I decided to pitch it to a relationship that I had over at Forbes. And suddenly my little Instagram live about 4 tips to making powerful connections in real life turned into a Forbes article, 4 steps to dusting off your networking skills for events. And I had this really beautiful image of me being featured in Forbes. So suddenly I had some credibility. Okay. Now what happened when the exact same topic, same content turned into a Forbes article? Well, it was shared hundreds of times on Instagram stories. And let's take a look at the person in the middle there. That's my team member. That's Liz, my chief of staff. So she didn't share my Instagram live. She didn't care about that. But suddenly, because I was in Forbes, I was the world's best boss. The person on the right is Randy Garn. He's a very influential guy in the industry because he shared it. I got a lot of DMs from people I wanted to connect with. People in my mastermind shared it. Here's the thing. When you're featured in a really credible media placement with lots of credibility, your friends, your customers, your clients love to brag about the fact that they know you. So it's very shareable. It gives them credibility because you have credibility. So this Forbes article was shared hundreds of times. And then let's be real, my parents, they didn't share my Instagram live, but suddenly when I was in Forbes, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm so proud of you. They have no idea what the hell I do, but Forbes, they understand. They get that. I have credibility. Suddenly, I'm the bomb. Okay, thanks, mom and dad. And then another favorite thing of mine is when you're looking so good and your ex happens to see you. You guys know, when that Forbes piece went live, every ex-boyfriend decided to come out of the woodwork on that day. All right, there's Steve. Congrats on the article, Jen. Good stuff. Oh, thanks, Steve. Todd, awesome. Congrats, Jenny. Here, this is Ben. This is a real message. This is insane. I'm so curious how you got on track. Is it you? You were such a different person. I'd love to reconnect and understand a little bit more what you do. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Okay, so this is more of what credibility does for your brand and your social life. Okay, but let's talk about leads and sales, because here's the thing, none of this matters if I'm not closing sales, right? None of it matters. So that same day when that Forbes article came out and I posted it on social media, I got these emails in my inbox. Forbes, hey Jen, saw your article in Forbes, wanted to talk to someone on your team about doing PR for my company. Boom, here's another one. Hey Jen, congrats on your Forbes article. I'd love to set up an intro call to chat about PR. Here's another one. Jen, saw the Forbes article. Great job. Not sure if you remember our last conversation, but I'd love to follow up. This was a sale that I didn't close, and they followed up because I posted that credibility marker, that Forbes article. Boom. All right. So how much did I spend? Any takers? How much did I spend to get featured in Forbes? Anybody know? Let me know in the chat. How much money did I spend? Oh, you guys are smart. This is a good group, Elias. 0. It was free. Okay. You guys want to know how much I made when I closed some of those leads? Free 99. You guys want to know? Let me know. How much? Well, an Instagram live that did nothing for me turned into a Forbes article that gave me credibility, made me $360,000 in 72 hours. Okay, that is the power of credibility, my friends. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you guys good? Down with credibility? We're moving right along to the I. But before I do that, I want you guys to start thinking about what content you've produced that you can put some credibility behind. That maybe you can get out into mainstream media, or you could get onto a top podcast, or you could do maybe an Instagram live with an influential person, which will move on to the next step with influence, right? So the I in CIA is influence, instant influence. Now people throw around this word influencer all the time. Like, oh, I want to be an influencer. The only reason that it matters to be an influencer is because an influencer is someone that has power to influence people to buy things or do things or believe in things or share things. And so once you have created influence, you have a lot more freedom in your business. But here's the thing, it's very difficult to build influence on your own. The easiest way to build influence and the fastest way is OPA. What does that stand for? Other people's audiences, influential people. So you want to borrow influence from other influential people. That's how this works. That's how one becomes an influencer. Again, because of credibility from an influential person that double taps on you and says that you're good and says, you know what, you should pay attention to this person. So let's keep on going with this Forbes article, shall we? It doesn't stop there. So one day, my chief of staff, Liz, who said I was the best boss ever, called me in the morning and she said, Jen, oh my God, you were just on the radio. I'm like, what? I was on the radio? And she's like, yes, Elvis Duran in the morning. It's my favorite radio show. I'm like, cool. I Google it. I look it up. Elvis Duran in the morning is one of the top morning shows in the country on Z100, which is one of the top radio shows in the country. I'm like, holy crap, this is cool. He quoted me. So she found the recording. She shared it with me. It was actually something that I said in the Forbes article. So I'm starting to get curious. Did he find me via that Forbes article? I don't know. So I looked at his Instagram, at the Elvis Duran in the Morning Show Instagram, to see just how influential this show was. And it turns out they were pretty damn influential with 579,000 followers. And I'm like, holy crap, how can I leverage and amplify this influence more? And how can I build my influence by leveraging their influence? So I did what any normal girl would do, and I slid up into his DM. Thanks so much for quoting me on the show and talking about your comfort zone. That's what he said. That's what the quote was. So I reminded him. And then Elvis said, and thank you for the jump start on this topic. Looking forward to taking it further. Ooh, okay. There's my in. So I come in and I say, yes, let's. I'd be happy to come on and dive in deeper for your listeners. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what I did there, because I did not say, I want to come on your show and talk about me. I did not say how great I was. I did not say that I've got more tips like that. I said, I want to provide value for your listeners, because what's Elvis's number one need and desire? His listeners. His listeners. He wants to provide value to his listeners. So that's his number one need and desire. That's what I'm going to fulfill. Boom. Would love that. Best way is connect with Andrew, my assistant. Let's go for it. Okay. So then I got to go in studio to one of the top radio shows in the country and do a 20-minute interview. And guess what Elvis Duran wanted to talk about during my 20-minute interview that was broadcasted to millions of people? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess in the chat? I'm looking at that chat. There's a competition going on right now. Yeah, you wanted to talk about me, but oh, Elias, you are following on. You are smart. Here we go. The Forbes article. The Forbes article. My 4 tips to networking. Okay, my 4 tips. That's how he found me. Okay, so let's keep going further. So this very influential Instagram page shared a reel of me in the studio talking about, giving a mic drop moment of something that I said during my interview. Now, that's huge because this is a page with over 500,000 followers. So they made me a collaborator on this reel, and that was viewed over 120,000 times. And this is what happened to my followers when that went live. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm screen recording. I'm like, Liz, look at this. You were right about Elvis Duran in the morning. They're super influential. Who knew about the radio? This was my following and my insights on Instagram on that day. So I was like, yes, this is a very good day. Boom. Yeah, I like it. Very good. And let's talk about leads because again, at the end of the day, money is key, right? Content isn't king. Conversion is king. So here's a lead from Active Campaign. How did you hear about us? Please provide referral description or detail. Heard Jen on Z100. Here's another DM. Hey, Jen, I heard you this morning on Elvis Duran show. Loved your networking tips. I'm interested in learning more about your event in New York City for entrepreneurs. Great. That ended up being a ticket sale to our event, Unfair Advantage Live in New York City. So your turn. How can you build more influence by leveraging other people's audiences, right? How can you take that credibility that you just created from all the tips that I gave you and turn it into more influence, long-lasting influence? Start thinking. I want you to get your brain going with this, right? Do you have people you can do lives with, podcasts? Can you get on stages? Can you get some more mainstream media? What can you do to give yourself more influence? Not necessarily by you talking about how great you are, but by leveraging the relationships that you currently have, okay? But Jen, once I get on these podcasts or once I write these articles or when I talk to these people, what do I even talk about? Many people ask me this, like, I don't even know what to say. What story do I tell that's interesting? Well, I'm going to give you a very, very, very big tip that's going to help you for the rest of your brand building life, your brand building experience. Find the lean in story. Now, here's the issue with us and like what goes on in our brains. A lot of the times, the stories that we tell, we think are really interesting and they're actually not. We're burying the lead. They're not interesting. They're boring. And some of the stories that we don't tell because we think that they're boring because they're too close to us are actually really the interesting stories. So what I want all of you to do is to pay attention to what other people do when you tell stories. So start talking about something and see what happens to the other person. Do their eyes glaze over when you start talking about that thing and do they start meerkatting you? Like looking over your shoulder for somebody else more interesting to talk to? Or do they lean in and say, oh, that's so cool. Tell me more about that. Do they ask you about that? Are you getting DMs about that in your DMs? What are the most engaged posts on your feed? Those are all lean ins. What are people actually leaning into? Not what do you think is the most interesting thing? What do other people tell you is the most interesting thing? Now, I was getting this all wrong for myself. And I'm going to tell you a story about how I found out what my lean in story was. Okay. So this was a long time ago in my life. I was the heavy metal girl. I was on a heavy metal talk show on VH1 for a very long time. And I never wanted to tell anyone about this. This was my past. I want to brush it under the rug. I didn't want anybody to know. And I never spoke a word about it. Little did I know that this was the massive lean in, the thing that everyone thought was so freaking interesting. All right. And this is how I learned that. So I got this when I was in the fitness industry. So before my PR life and before my super connector media business, I had a fitness business and I wanted to become not heavy metal girl anymore, but I wanted to shift my persona and build a personal brand in the fitness space. So I got this really amazing segment on PBS with Joanna Gagas. And if you notice in this photo, I'm wearing workout clothes because I thought I was going to go to this segment and work out with Joanna and teach her how to do squats. Okay. I sit down, she's wearing a beautiful dress. I feel like an idiot in sneakers. And I'm like, oh my God, I got this all wrong. Because the lean in for Joanna was not about working out. The lean in was Jennifer Leah Gottlieb discusses her work as a Broadway actress and VH1's That Metal show and her current role as a celebrity nutrition and fitness expert helping people with their bodies. The lean in was the from point A to point B, which it often is. You guys following? So after that, I started talking about it a hell of a lot more. I started getting a hell of a lot more media. Super duper majorly important reminder, you guys. Your mess is your message. Is there something in your past that maybe has nothing to do with real estate or what you do now that makes you different and makes you special, that people can relate to, that you could start talking about, that could connect the dots to what you do now? Give you an example. This is Cody Sperber, the clever investor. He's one of the top real estate people in the world. He's one of my really good friends. He was one of our former clients, and we got him in Business Insider. And here's an example of that. 4 ways to invest in real estate, even if you're low on capital, from the clever investor who went from $30,000 in debt to flipping over 1,000 homes. So he just told you he was $30,000 in debt. Why would he tell you that? Well, because a lot more people can relate to being $30,000 in debt and wanting to flip 1,000 homes, and would believe that if that guy can be in debt like them and flip it all around, then they would listen to him and he could teach them. And a lot more people related to that. And Business Insider thought it was more interesting because being in debt 30 grand and then flipping 1,000 homes is way more lean in and way cooler than just flipping 1,000 homes. Yes or yes? You guys following me? Let me check in the chat. You guys with me still? Yes? I hope your brains are working overdrive right now, thinking of ideas. Okay, here's another example. This is Scott Olford, one of our clients, how this 25-year-old went from over $700,000 in debt to building a multi-million-dollar empire. Now, he went on to Inc. and said he was $700K in debt, and look what happened. This was published on May 2nd. This was a message to my fiance, Chris. I did get what looks like a private one-on-one client from that article. Fucking awesome, like $150K for the year. So because he told people that he was $700,000 in debt, he got a $150,000 client, because that's impressive. That's a lean in. That's different. I want to read about how you went from being completely helpless and at the bottom of the barrel to getting to where you are. Yes? Yes. Okay. Instant authority. Now the A in CIA, let's talk about it. The A, authority equals power. When you have authority and you've established that you're the recognized expert in whatever niche it is, even if it's not your niche, but people know that you are an authoritative figure, you don't ever have to search for leads. You will have a wait list. Someone that I think of right now, Ryan Serhant, in your space, he has unbelievable authority because he was on Bravo and he was on a TV show. I don't know, even if he wasn't a great real estate broker, even if he knew nothing, he still has authority in the space, and people would want to work with him because he was on mainstream television, has gotten a lot of mainstream media, a lot of credibility, and a lot of influence. Let me give you an example how this recently worked for me in an area that has nothing to do with what I do. It just gave me authority. I was recently featured, I have the magazine right here, on the cover of Strong Fitness magazine. Now, I am not in the fitness industry anymore. Not even close, but this happened. This just came out, this magazine this week. Okay. And I have a 6-page spread in here, but the headline is how working out builds her body and her bank. And the whole article is about being an entrepreneur and how exercise has helped me be a better entrepreneur. And it features my company. Now, what happened when I posted this on Instagram, gave me instant authority? I got this message. I mean, I got so many messages, but this was one of them. Congrats on the cover, because I was featured on the cover of a magazine. If I sell my biz, I really need your help elevating my personal brand. I want to speak on stages. This is a very influential person. Okay. I said, thank you. Did I tell you that we sold our agency? We don't do done for you services anymore, but we started doing VIP days for very specific high level people. Let me know. We closed that VIP day, 30 grand, boom. From the authority of being on the cover of the magazine, right? Getting that message. This is how this works, okay? But I got another reminder for you guys. Super duper, majorly important reminder. Very important. 20% of the value is the actual post, is the actual media segment, is the cover of the magazine. That's 20% of the value. 80% is what you do with it afterwards. How do you amplify it? How do you repurpose it? How do you get it in front of as many people as possible to build you more credibility, more influence, and more authority? Okay, so I have a very, very, very specific way that I share my media wins that converts every time into sales and leads. I don't have enough time to go walk you through it step by step today. I wish I had like 2 hours with you today, but I don't. So I'm gonna back up to this and tell you something, but I want to, hold on. I don't know where it went. So tell Elias, I'm going to DM you. I have a free thing for them. It's like how to amplify their media. It's like totally free. It's their amplification guide. Because I can't walk through this whole entire thing, but I want to show you guys something. So this Forbes piece that gave me all that goodies, it gave me $360,000 in 72 hours. It got me on the radio. It got me all these leads. It was the greatest thing ever. I was like, I want to make that magic happen again. So even though this was a year ago, I wanted to prove a point. I took the same exact article. I made a different image, same headline, and told a different story and posted it a year later. Now, I didn't lie and say that the article was new. I just shared the article again. I was like, people want some networking skills. Here are some. I told an amazing story. Again, I'll get you that free resource where I teach you how to tell those stories. And guess what happened? The same thing. The virality happened again. The credibility, the influence, and authority happened again, just as if the other one didn't even exist. You guys, I want to remind you, everyone is not paying as close of attention as you think. This was shared hundreds of times as if it were a brand new article. I got so many DMs. My mom texted me, congrats on Forbes again. I'm like, Mom, it's the same article. It's the same one. I'm just sharing it again with a new story. Then I got emails like this. Saw your recent article in Forbes, wanted to reach out about having you speak at our next event. Amazing. So what can you repurpose? What old media did you post ages ago, but you're holding on to it and you haven't posted it again because you feel like it's not relevant? Can you repurpose it and reshare it and tell a different story? Because those people don't remember. Make a new image, provide more value in a different way. People always need to hear the same thing over again in different ways. And it can just give you credibility, authority, and influence again, okay? This is a great example of how one of our clients, Ugo Lord, used TikTok to build a massive, not just brand, but business. Look at this, 6 million followers on TikTok, 186.5 million likes. This is a lawyer, Ugo Lord, the TikTok attorney. When we met Ugo Lord, he was just a lawyer. He had no TikTok. He had zero. He was not the TikTok attorney. Now, TikTok pays Ugo. He is now a sponsored like TikTok creator. He gets paid to create TikTok videos because he's created a brand. Now, let me show you how he did this. He did this by using mainstream media to build his TikTok. This is unbelievable. Watch, pay attention. Okay. So this was Dr. Ugo's very first TikTok that he made. He came to one of our events and we taught him how to get into the media. So he got a television segment. Okay. And this was the video that he made on TikTok that ended up going viral. So he was, watch.
Vision boards are 100% effective. They actually work. Listen to this. On December 22nd, I began to visualize that I would be interviewed on the news within a month. It happened sooner than that. And guess what? My episode aired today. Check it out.
Our next guest is attorney Ugo Lord. He's been studying the stimulus bill and is here to talk to us about it and how it can benefit you most. But welcome. Glad to have you here, Ugo.
Thanks for having me, Hal. The same thing can happen to you if you believe and really fight to make it a reality. 2021 is your year. You got this.
Boom. Boom. Okay. So he shared his media segment, his credibility on TikTok. That went viral. He started posting every day. Wait. Oh. And then he messages this. Thank you, Chris. This means the world to me. I can't believe it. 50,000 followers in 2 days. 2 videos with over 2 million views each. I'm speechless. Thank you and Jen for creating this amazing program, amazing possibilities, all these things. He is now a famous TikTok celebrity, okay? Look at 7.6 million views, 2 million views, 2.3 million views. This was done because of the credibility that he got from being on television. It wasn't because everybody saw him on TV. It was because he took that TV segment and he amplified it on TikTok. You guys understanding that 20% of the value is the hit, 80% is what you do with it? You guys getting this? Amazing. Thank you for catapulting my entertainment career, he said. Because now he's legitimately an entertainer. He's getting paid to go all over the world and like be the TikTok attorney. It's crazy. He's amazing. Yes. So you guys can do the exact same thing with real estate. I love this example because it's very similar to real estate. Being a lawyer, like people think, oh, I can't go viral on TikTok. You absolutely can. Oh, this is the thing. Take a photo of this. So it was just moved down a little bit. So my tips for amplifying media, just take a little photo and it's totally free. I just wanted to gift it to you guys. It's a full amplification strategy workbook on how I tell stories to make my media convert into sales. All right. So what media or content can you repurpose? What can you take and repurpose and reuse and make new and tell a new story to bring in more leads, more sales, create more credibility, more influence, more authority, and build your brand? Think about it, okay? But now I want to pause and I want to take a real minute and ask you guys a real serious question, because my company, Super Connector Media, is a visibility company where we teach entrepreneurs and business owners and thought leaders how to be seen. But at the end of the day, we're secretly a personal development company, because every single person that we work with, including the biggest influencers in the world, get imposter syndrome. So I want to be real. We're a family here. I saw the word family pop up 100 times, and my community is a family as well. Who here is getting a little bit nervous? It's a little bit of imposter syndrome when it comes to putting themselves out there, being seen, being visible, really making videos, going live, all those things. Please be honest and say in the chat, I'm getting a lot of me's, because I am that way too. Yes, me, getting a lot of me's. Amazing. So I'm about to flip this on your head for you. Okay? Need you to pay attention. Visibility is your responsibility. Because every single day that goes by that you are not making yourself visible to the people that you can help is another day that those people are going to go buy from someone else, or listen to someone else, or follow someone else, or partner with someone else that isn't as good as you and doesn't care as much as you, simply because you are too insecure about being seen. It is your responsibility to get out of your own way and show up, not for you, but for the people that you can help. So my trick for myself, whenever I'm in my own head and I'm caring about what other people think too much, and I'm too nervous to go live, or I'm too scared to post something because I'm scared of what other people will think, I just think of these 4 letters. HOPE. Help one person every day. If you can stop thinking about yourself and the way that you look on camera, or the way that your words sound, or what your aunt in Michigan is going to think about what you just posted, and you start thinking about that one human being, that one person that needed to open up their phone and see your message that day, or hear from you, that one person that needed your help, and you start thinking about that one human, it takes away the ego, it takes away the nerves, it takes away the, oh, I care so much about what other people think, or all the insecurities, because it's not about you anymore. It's about that one person and helping that one person. Whenever I do speeches and I go on stage and I talk in front of people, and if you've seen me at Forward, like I know many of you saw me at Forward, I did this for that event. That event, I was speaking out with Gary Vaynerchuk and a lot of really big influential people, Ed Milet, and I was nervous. But I went up to one person that I knew was going to be in the audience. I said, I'm talking to you. I want you to know that I'm just talking to you. I'm not talking to hundreds of people. I'm talking to one person. And it really helps take away the nerves, because we can't impact zillions of people if we're focused on impacting zillions of people, but we can in fact impact zillions of people if we focus on just helping one. So I really want you to take that in. I really want you to take that in. I'm looking at the chat right now because I want to see who is committing to helping one person every day. Yes, thank you. Amazing. So what I would like to do, I'm wrapping up. I want to have time for Q&A, Elias, but I have one thing that I'd love to invite your people to, and that is because this is our final. So I mentioned that we do Unfair Advantage Live, which is an event in New York City where we bring in over 200
Good morning.
media people.
Okay.
Ashanti, hold on 1 second. I got her.
All right, cool. We'll do Q&A after. So we have an event called Unfair Advantage Live. It's October 18th, 19th, and 20th in New York City, and we bring in media people. So you saw all those media examples, me being featured in Forbes and Dr. Ugo being on TV. Those were all built out of relationships. And we bring in over 200 of the top media people, top producers from all the top shows, all of the editors and writers and contributors from all the top magazines. We have a media mixer on the second day, and it's 3 days of learning how to pitch yourself, learning how to build your personal brand, learning messaging, and more importantly, building a community of like-minded entrepreneurs. It's 3 days with me and Chris. This is our final Unfair Advantage Live. We're never doing it again. This is the last one we're ever doing. Okay. And so if you would like to apply, it is invite only, it's application only. I know Elias brings in the greatest of the greats, the best people to his world. So I would like to invite you all, if you think that you would be a fit to attend this event, to apply. And I'm not going to play the video because I want to get to Q&A, but you can watch it on the website. You just go to that QR code and you can apply to attend. You'll get on a call with a team member and we'll see if you're a fit to join our Unfair Advantage Live community and get in front of some amazing media people. So we're also putting that link in the chat. love to see you all there. Let me know if you're going to apply, or I just saw Denise want to be there. Tatiana said books flight to New York. Yeah, I'd love to meet you guys all in person. It's 3 days with me and Chris. It's super fun. All right, so I'm going to unshare my screen. And I would love to have some time, if we can, for Q&A, Elias, because we really dove into a lot of things today.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, you guys, there's been a trend, there's been a theme. I know that you guys have heard this from multiple people, but I love Jen's approach. I love the impact. I love the way that she articulates this. So let's go in, let's answer some questions. Might not be able to get to everyone's question, but let's just go. Whoever can put their hand up right now if you have a question, something that you would love to bend Jen's ear about right now. Let's get some questions flowing, and first one that starts out will then be social proof for the other people. That it always happens, right? I don't want to speak on group coaching, then one speaks, I'm like, all right, I don't want to speak too, I got something to say and contribute. So as always, Joellen always has her hand up pretty quick. So Joellen, let's hear from you.
I just have a nice comment to make towards Jen. I loved her when I saw her in Vegas, and this video that she showed of when she first started making her video. I literally teared up. I was crying because where she was and where she is today is absolutely beautiful. So
Love it. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Joellen, thank you. Yeah, I show that on stage only. So if you guys want to see that video, you have to come see me in person.
Love it, Joellen. Appreciate your contribution. Who else has a thought, a question, or a contribution to the conversation? Sarah Long, let's go to you. You're muted.
Yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
So when you're saying that you should bring up your past, like for me in particular, I have like a crazy rocky past, and I'm trying to figure out how much of that do I actually want to share, and what if it backfires and it's not beneficial? If people are like, oh, we don't want to deal with that hot mess because of her crazy past.
Very
You know
important
what I mean?
question. Yeah, I love that question. No, really important one, because not everything is ready to be shared. So the question that I always ask myself is the wound opened or closed? Now, if the wound is open and it's fresh and it's still an issue that still kind of gets to you and you still kind of cringe when you think about it, and it's just not a closed wound and you haven't learned all the lessons that you need to learn from that situation, or there's still people that have open loops with that situation and the wound is open, I wouldn't share it. Only share things that the wound, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. So it doesn't have to be a wound, like thinking of that. It's just like the mindset of that chapter is closed. It's done. It's closed. It's completely closed. I can talk about it and laugh. I can talk about it and know that I learned so many amazing lessons from it and so many great stories, and I can speak about it confidently without getting triggered, and nobody else is going to be affected by this. As long as you can speak about it from strength, from a closed wound, then and it can help other people and empower other people, then it's something that you can share. If you feel like that wound is a little still open, I wouldn't share it.
Really powerful.
And when sharing the wounds, no, I love that. When sharing wound, am I doing that as a kind of a separate, or am I
So
going to
your
be
audio's
a
cutting
successful
out.
real estate agent? Because I'm still new in the business. Oh, do you want me to stop it? Can
No,
you hear me better now?
Just cut your camera and then let's just keep your audio. There we go.
Okay. When posting and talking about the wound, am I applying that to, and this is why you should hire me as a real estate agent? Because another struggle is, because I'm a new agent, I don't have success quite yet.
So whenever I share stories, I always like to tie it into what I do now. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be like, hire me and I'm going to tell you, or tell the story and then say, hire me. It could just be a post about your story, a vulnerable post, right? That lets people get to know who you are. Like you could write a post and be like, hey, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah. And when I experienced this, and this is how I use this to help me in real estate in these 3 ways, right? Like I used to say, there's a post that I wrote, and I showed this in the amplification guide that I shared with you guys, like 3 lessons that I learned from being on TV for 5 years. And so all of those lessons were lessons in entrepreneurship. So it connected the fact that I was on VH1 and on TV, but then it provided value to my viewers and my listeners and the people that were reading my content by the entrepreneurial lessons that I learned from being on TV. Connected the dots, gave me the credibility from being on TV, right? You could also say something that was your rock bottom moment and what you learned from it and how it makes you a successful realtor today. So it just helps people connect with you as a human instead of just like looking at you like you've got your life all together and everything's perfect, because no one relates to perfect.
Yeah, because look, and if I could chime in, like, Sarah, you're a mom, like what are the struggles that a mom faces trying to run a business and raising a newborn, right? Like those give
Yeah.
like I believe in business intimacy, because I could ask the question, how many people know my story? And quite a few people on the call know my story, but I'm okay with that. I'm not leading with that every single time, but there's a time and a place that creates this business intimacy and like proximity to me as a human. And so, Sarah, I love that you're asking this question and good stuff. We have a couple more questions. Let's get around the room. Sarah, are we closed on that loop? Are you good? Okay, cool. Samuel, let's go to you and rapid fire, my man. We want to make sure to get all the other questions. Samuel, what's your question or contribution?
If we wanted to get featured on Forbes, are we supposed to reach out to Forbes, or do they reach out to us through a public relations agency?
Great question. So I wish I could do a 4-hour training where I taught all of those things, because there's a lot of different ways. You can pitch them. So you can actually write a pitch, and we teach pitch writing in our courses and programs, things like that. Send me a DM and I can direct you in the right way. We also teach that on Fair Advantage Live, but really at the end of the day, it's about relationships. It's about who you know. It's about knowing a Forbes contributor or someone that writes for Forbes, or, and being able to pitch someone that you know, because that's going to get you in the door a lot faster. That Forbes article that I got, it was because I had a relationship with a girl that was a contributor there. And so you have to build those relationships. And the way that you do that is by attending events. On Fair Advantage Live's coming up, we're going to have tons of people from all of those publications in the room where you can meet them, but also it's by being able to write a really powerful pitch, doing your research, getting on LinkedIn, seeing who's a contributor, a writer for Forbes, for Inc., for any of those magazines that you want to be in, and start connecting with those people, whether it be on social media, start providing value to those people, liking their articles, sharing their articles, getting on their radar, and then sending a really powerful pitch that's timely, that they would be interested in. And don't just guess what they would be interested in. Look and see what they've written about. Look and see what they've shared on social media. What is happening in the news right now? What's timely? What do their listeners, their readers, their viewers want the most? Again, it's not about you. It's not about, they don't care about you, unfortunately, not yet. They care about their viewers, their readers, their listeners. So yeah, that's in short, but there's so many factors when it comes to getting featured, and I could talk about it all day long. That's
Okay,
good stuff.
The reason I asked is because there was this PR company that emailed me asking me if I wanted to be featured on Forbes, but this was like before I had a deal, and they were asking me for money to be featured on Forbes. So yeah, and I talked to my sponsor about it.
I'm going to just stop you because I know we need to get to a lot of questions. Please, you guys, I just want to protect you all. Don't pay to play, please. Do not pay for articles. You don't ever have to pay for articles. And if you do, it can devalue your brand because you can tell when you've paid for an article.
Okay, so it was a scam.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Don't pay for articles.
All right. So moving on, good stuff, good contribution, Sam. Let's go to Kim, and then we're going to come full circle in the conversation.
Hey, so my main question was more so, none of us have really started on Broadway. We're not like, big hitters in the media industry yet. What would be some advice for us who are just starting out? We've got, maybe it's only like 1,000 followers, or maybe it's only 300 followers. How do we start getting connected with the right people to put us on a platform to where we can really be influencing the right people, really get that credibility, and really get that authoritative figure?
Yeah, I love that question, Cameron. Thank you so much. It's an important question. So we all start somewhere, and that's something to remember is don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. I started with nothing, with nobody, and I never told anyone that I was on Broadway when I started my business. That had nothing to do with my entrepreneurial journey. I had to start from square zero, knowing absolutely no one. And the best way to do that is to literally build relationships with humans. That is it. My company is called Super Connector Media, and it is called Super Connector Media because of the power of connection and meeting people and collaborating with each other. You've got 139 people in this room right now that you can collaborate with on lives. You can all put each other in front of each other's audiences. Maybe you only have 1,000 and they have 1,000, and those are 2,000. That's 1,000 different people. You can get in front of theirs and they can get in front of you. You can promote each other. You can cross promote. You can, look and see who do you know that has a podcast that you can get on. You make a relationship with that person. You love on that person. You provide value to that person. They're going to promote you and they're going to refer you to another podcast. It's building slowly, but it's always people. Humans. Connect with humans and think about how you can provide value to people, and it will always come back to you. But every single person on this call should be collaborating with each other and promoting each other and putting each other on each other's platforms. If you guys are in a group together like this, that's what our mastermind does. And it's been unbelievable. We've had people get on Oprah because they've done collaborations together and shared each other's contacts on different platforms.
Absolutely love that advice. Love that advice. And Cam, like I didn't know Jen. Right. And so it just literally, I took a shot and said, hey, I love what you said. I would love for you to come and speak to our team because I feel that it's valuable. And I took my shot and built a relationship. And now I feel that this is a relationship that I can continue on moving forward. And so, I took some chances. And sometimes there's probably somebody out there that you like and follow and be like, hey, I would love to get on a call with you. I'd love to do a live with you. I'd love to do a mastermind with you. We share similar interests. We're kind of the same people. Would love to get on a call. And most people, if they're humble like Jen, they'll be like, cool, let's do it. I'm down. And that's what happened. Really, that's
exactly
what
happened. But don't send a video because they won't be able to see your video if they don't follow you. So send
lesson learned. Lesson learned. All right, cool. Let's go to one more person. We had Kwanzo up. Kwanzo, let's hear from you, and then we're going to come full circle in the conversation. And you guys, if you have more questions, I apologize. We only have 5 more minutes, but I'm trying to get to everyone. So Kwanzo, rapid fire. Let's hear from you.
And then we have to announce most engaged, by the way. Just don't let me forget.
Yep.
Hey, first, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. All the nuggets has been amazing. A quick question: what are some of the tools you use to find the most relevant topics? I noticed TubeBuddy and a couple ones for YouTube. What do you use to find okay, this is the most because you're talking about it's not about us, right? It's about what people want to hear. So do you use any kind of tech tools to help you track and figure out what are the most trending topics?
Yep. I use my social media. I don't do any research other than what people are asking me. So I look at my most engaged. So I always ask my team, I'm like, tell me which piece of content got the most engagement in the last week. That means that piece of content is something that people want to know about. Which one got the most comments? What are people asking in the comments? If I do Q&A on my Instagram live, what are they asking me? Ask them, what do you want to hear more of? Do a post and say what do you like? What do you want to hear from me? You're going to get a ton of comments of questions. So ask them. I don't use any kind of weird tech thing. I literally just pick up my phone and I look and see what people are at. That Forbes article that I did, it started because I did an Instagram live because people were DMing me the same question. Jen, I'm an introvert and I'm going to a live event. I'm going to Unfair Advantage Live. It was the first one that was coming up and I'm really nervous to connect in real life. Can you give me some tips? I got 6 of those. So I was like, boom, I'm going to make this content. And it turned into a Forbes article, turned into $370,000 in revenue. So that's how you do it.
Love this. Love this. Jen, I could spend, hours talking with you. I'm hoping in the future that you and I can collaborate on a project and do more of this. I found this super, super helpful, not only for me, but I know the team took tremendous levels of value out from this. If you guys are a guest on this call, you have never been on these calls before, if you want to come to something in the future, we have some really, really great people lined up for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to put my Instagram handle down below. Make sure to give me a follow so you can stay updated on future Keep It Moving coaching sessions. But Jen, let's hear from you. Who's winning the money today? Who's most engaged? Let me do a quick little drum roll.
Drum roll, please. The most engaged for today is Cameron Bodron.
Hey.
So if you could just get Cameron's email, or Cameron, if you could just drop your email in the chat, my team will copy paste it and we'll PayPal you $100. Congratulations.
Love this. I love this. See, guys, when we think about community, when we think about contribution, I love hearing everything, the family, the environment, everything that you guys put down below. You guys got to remember, these groups started with 5 people, 3 people, some days 2 people coming together 3 times a week. But I believed in what it is now, and I always had a vision for it. Even today, you guys, I sit there and watch the chat room at 8:28. 8:29. Who's going to show up? I'm still nervous. I'm still humble no matter what, and no matter how big this is going to get. And so you could just have to start somewhere and believe in it and put all of your effort and your energy and your passion into it, and it will grow. And then you build great relationships like this, and then you bring more people in that add value to your team and to your organization. So Jen, we are beyond grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for your time. If you guys don't follow me, once again, follow me at Elias Astuto on Instagram. And Jen, any parting words from you?
I'm just so blessed. This was an amazing group, Elias. I'm like actually blown away above and beyond. So thank you so much for being so engaged, you guys. I just feel your heart. I feel your energy. You're my people. Please keep in touch. You can DM me anytime. You have my Instagram. We posted that link to apply for our event. I'd love to see you in New York City. And I will hopefully be back again, Elias. More to come.
I love this. And you guys, I have a challenge for everybody. If there was one thing, just one thing that was an aha moment that touched your heart, that touched your mind, create a video on that, tag me, tag Kenny, tag Jen, and let's blow it up today. It's about taking action. You can hear all these great things from Jen and myself or Kenny, whoever else is speaking, but it's all about you guys going and taking the action now. You probably have notes, take something from your notes and create a video and give it back to the people. So sorry we couldn't get to everyone's questions today. I apologize, but we will in the future. And if you have a question, maybe just direct it to Jen yourself. But you guys, thank you. Keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Peace.
Bye.